I just left the Allentown Art Museum, which is on Fifth Street, a half block off Hamilton here in Allentown, Pennsylvania, in case you haven't figured that out. But this is the first, there's two new main exhibits here. One is called Past, Present, and one is called Weston's Women. Stop by on a Sunday when they have free admission, just to give a quick glimpse of them. And today I stopped, I actually took my time and walked around each exhibit. Now, this is going to be the Past Present one because honestly, I love modern art, I love abstract art. You know, I'm not a true fan of the classic stuff, okay? I grew up in the 80s, what can I say? But normally, I love, like I said, the modern art, where artists push the limits and push the boundaries. Give me that on my worst day. But the Past Present exhibit just does not work for me. You walk it, both exhibits are on the second floor of the museum. You walk upstairs, you walk into the first gallery, and it's just immediately you're almost overwhelmed with looking at everything, which can work, but for this type of exhibit and this much space, it bombs. Okay, the exhibit is hung and presented in a way where everything almost clashes with each other. Again, that's something I'm a huge fan of, but it's just, to be honest with you, everything from the technical side. Now I have to prelude this part with, I was informed each exhibit is pretty much its own installation, but it seemed like there was very little to no planning on how each installation in each exhibit, each part of it, would go together with the others. Like I said, you walk in, it's like bam, it's like, okay. That was my first reaction. And then I started walking around, and okay, I'm trying to figure out the best way to phrase this, honestly. It's almost like, like I said, like there was no planning, because you have one exhibit which is a sofa, and it's facing the wall with a painting hung on it. Then you have this other exhibit which takes up almost the whole wall. Then you go into something which looks honestly like the color chart when you're doing something online, with the different shades and different boxes. It does not work for me. While most people some people it might work for, I just don't see this where a lot of people would find this interesting, again, due to the way it's presented versus the actual individual exhibits and works. It just, and from the technical side, I've been into local galleries where you have this effect where it's like, you jump from one thing to the next, there's no flow, everything is pretty much, it's almost like a shock effect, okay, to a point, which does work, and I love that. I'm a huge fan of it. But again, for the space that this exhibit is in, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. And then you go into the next room, and it's like, okay, right off you see different color painting, solid colors with with lights at different locations, and you hear some droning music, background music. You look at the other wall, and it's pretty much one after another you have to kind of look close to see if there's any difference in between the shades of gray. And even combining these two, the flow it forces you to look at each individual piece close, which is fantastic. But when you look at it and combine it, it barely even fits in with the concept with the Past Present. You can read the entire description from the artist and the entire description about the exhibit which I did, but it's just, I cannot give this a high rating because of the fact that it just seems like it was almost thrown together versus planned out. So that's my thank you for checking out the review of Past Present. It's at the Allentown Art Museum until May. And I mean, fantastic artists in this, okay, don't get me wrong, but the technical is what really screwed it up for me. So check it out, Allentown Art Museum. Check them out online. Stop by, see these exhibits. That's my own personal take on it. You might think otherwise. Depends on what you enjoy. Mike Phoenix, thanks for all the support. Stay safe in the night, and always, I'll see you around later.